Alright guys, we are at an historic building here in town. This is the Old Nashville Fire Department. I don't know who that was. We're gonna go do a little tour of the place. Let's go check it out.
Hey.
How you doing?
All right. How are you doing?
How are you? I didn't know where to go.
Come in. Well, that's a good place to start right there.
Robert Hanson,
Yeah,
I'm
Robert.
from here in town, and I do cabin on the hill. And what we do is we come in with pressure wash concrete, make it look new again.
Well,
Yeah, clean up things.
yeah.
I've always thought this was a neat deal. I've seen some of the old stuff sitting outside. Thought I'd love to.
Well, just come on by and take a look and see what we have here. All right. Come on in. This is 1930 fire station, and this was the city hall. In the 70s, well, they turned this over to a residence.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and so it used not to be brick. They bricked it, and it used not to have this patio in here like this. They added bedrooms and things like that on the back. So this is original construction from 1930. So the building over there, it looks like it. This was the fire station.
Is that a 55?
That's a 48.
That is
delivered to this station.
really
New. The city bought it, and they've held on to it all these years. And that's a 1948 Chevrolet Loadmaster. And we've got a picture. When you come over here and look at the pictures, here's where it was the day it was delivered. You can see right here. You can see what that was the city hall back here next door. And you can see how they connected it together and changed the roof line and then bricked it all. But that's when it was delivered right here. And it was pretty neat situation to have this picture and still have the truck.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this is what it looked like back in the 40s, or the 30s and the 40s. This
I like how they're all wearing ties.
yeah, this picture's a little older than this one. This would have been in the 30s right here.
That'd been
And
before
then,
they got
and then you move back here. Here's one even. This one. These two were at the same time right here. And this is the that's the equipment that they had back there. And so that was
in the 30s?
That was in the 30s. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So that was pretty neat to have that. The John and Mary Lyons family, they're the one that donated the property to the Historical Society. And the city owned the property, then sold it to the Cornishes, and then Mr. and Mrs. Cornish had a little repair shop, and they had the bus station in here, and then later on they remodeled it, and then was here several years, and then in the mid-70s or right along there, they sold it to John and Mary Lyons, and they lived here until they passed away.
Oh, really?
And the family decided to donate it to the Historical Society. Yeah, we have different fire station displays and that people have donated to us over the years, and it's pretty neat little stuff about. These are actually fire extinguishers.
Oh, really?
And if you'll see in old movies,
That's a fire extinguisher?
That's a fire extinguisher.
Isn't that something?
And
Just got water in it?
it's got saline solution water, and if it gets too hot, it's automatic extinguisher down here. It's got a little spring in there, and when the wax gets too hot, it releases, it goes up, breaks the glass, and then the saline solution springs out and just goes all over everywhere. And so if you'll ever watch black and white movies, go back, you have to get some old ones, and you'll see a hallway in a hotel.
Yes, sir.
And all of a sudden you'll think, well, what kind of lights are those? But they weren't lights. They were automatic fire extinguishers.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, and when we did old number one back in 2020. This was our COVID project. We couldn't open up, we couldn't let anybody in, and we were all under quarantine and all that.
So you redid
well,
it?
our buddy brought it to us from, this came up from, down from Fort Smith, and it was just in all kinds of pieces and everything else. So this was a project we did. It took us about a year to get it all back together and gather up all the parts. And when I was researching, doing all that, I was worried. I kept seeing pictures of different old vehicles that had these fire extinguishers on them. And I was afraid it was too new for $18.99. And I got to looking back, this thing was invented in 1818. So
right?
by 1899, Lord, that thing had been all over the world. You know, they had sent those everywhere. So that actually goes with it. I was worried about it.
Honey, why don't you get a panoramic view of this and look at it a little bit?
Yeah. This was donated by David and Amber Homestead, and we were tickled to death to get this. Of course, when we got it, it was just in pieces, wrapped in shrink wrap. All it was, yeah. And he had found it up at Fort Smith, and I said, yeah, we'll take that because we'll be able to redo it. And it turned out real well. We did not redo the seats. They had already been done. You can see they're cracked, and it was probably, it was that part. So I just made the decision not to take that off. I just left all that on there.
Let's take a look at the taxi and the
yeah.
truck over here.
Yeah. Taxi is the
Pull it
taxi.
outside, or do we have time for it?
What's that?
Pull it outside?
Oh, yeah. No, it's actually about 20 minutes to get started. I tried to start this just a minute ago, but we have, you notice that the fans are on.
Yes.
This is just the garage.
Yes.
And it gets more when you change the weather inside and out, well, everything sweats, and when this thing gets wet, it won't start. You have to dry it out. This is
Can I go fly that?
Oh yeah, come around here and look. Yeah.
Got the old Luger horn on it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh wow. This
Yeah,
thing
this
is
is,
pretty cherry.
Yeah, this is 1930.
Look at the spark plug wires this guy on.
Yeah. They just go right straight over to the distributor. And now, when I was working on this one, we kept having so much trouble with the generator. That's a regular alternator.
Yes,
and so I was able to find, it's still a 6-volt, so all the electric system is 6-volt, and I had to shop around and found that 6-volt generator, alternator.
Got lucky to find one, huh?
Yeah, and so we mounted it on there. It looks, if you don't know, but it's a little out of place when you first look at it if you understand Model A's, but we found it.
Did you redo the vehicles? You did?
Yeah.
You did a really good job.
I mean, well, to a point, I did all this work under here. Now, we left all this original. See, you can rub your hands on there and back here, and look right here. See, this is all original stuff. And
Now this was a taxi in Nashville, Arkansas?
No, this was in Tulsa, Oklahoma. A couple of firemen would have to come in and answer the telephone. Well, they stayed here in the bunk room. And this is the bunk room that we have set up. And the bunk room was just made of a little bit of everything. It's from 1928 to 1930s, and then this is actually that we found these. We got the guy to bring these to us. These came from the barracks at Barksdale Air Force Base, where these came from. But they fit. But this was what we wanted and needed to go in here, and that came from Barksdale. But that's the way it was set up back here. And they lived for a couple of days back here. when the chief took off, well, this is set up for them to come in here. This is the style of television that I grew up with.
Yeah, that's the one where you're like,
when I was 5 and 6
don't
years,
move, stand right there.
When I was 5 and 6 years old, we had, I've got a picture of me at 4 years old, and I'm sitting in a little chair right beside this, not that TV, but ours was Zenith. This is an RCA, and but they looked exactly the same, and so that's the old refrigerator, old Crosley. Normally they're white. This guy that had it had painted it red, and where the black sign is, there's a hole right through there. He used to keep his beer keg in there, and that was a beer tap.
This is a 1940 Crosley refrigerator, which is kind of ironic because my dad has a 1948 Crosley.
Car.
Yeah, my dad passed away, but I got left the car, and I've kind of restored it in my own way.
Well, that's all right.
I'll bring it down to show it to you when I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty neat. This refrigerator is how Crosley started out, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That and radios and
Well, they made a little bit of all kinds. They made all kinds of stuff.
And their cars weren't much bigger than the refrigerator.
No, probably wasn't very big. And then, of course, you go back in the 20s and the 30s. Well, come in and check the toilet out in here.
Oh, has it got the old, oh wow. So this toilet here is probably not anything like what anybody would ever have.
Yeah, in the morning you had to get up and change the pot. It slides. See the little drawer, the little door.
Yeah,
on the
pull
bottom?
the door here.
Yeah, just open it up. Go ahead. You're not gonna hurt it.
And pull your bucket out, which I'm not going to do that.
Bring it back.
Does it lift up?
Oh yeah, it'll clean. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh, hey, that's
man, you earned your money when you did that.
Yeah. But
these old sink here.
Yeah, it's not hooked up. We just we set most of that stuff in there.
We had a toilet like that when I was a kid, didn't we?
Kind of like that. Yeah, we was going through hard times though.
You just went outside and peed outside.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
But yeah, this is a 1928 gas stove. We got that from the Barrington.
Oh, that's actually gas. I thought maybe it was a wood burner.
No, it's a gas stove.
That's
something. So it's this is just kind of like the fireman's bachelor pad. Only they were on call, and notice you didn't make any calls. This was the phone call. This is the fire phone is what that is. You didn't dial out. You just waited for it to ring, and there you were. You dealt with it like that. So that's cool.
Some of the old neat stuff from early times back when everybody was young.
This is the flour mill. And what you did was once every month or 2 or 3 months, or it's according to how many biscuits you made around there, you'd bring this in, this slides out, and you load this up with 5 pounds and 10 pounds, I can't remember, 20 pounds of flour.
Then it had a
and
sifter
then down
at
here,
the bottom.
this is the sifter, and you had I don't know if I have a little mixing bowl here. You just have a little bowl, and you just, or you use a cup, and then you make your biscuits over here with that. And
what is this right here?
That is
that vanilla?
Mexican vanilla from 1935.
Oh wow!
And boy, you want to talk about? I imagine that's pretty stout.
Oh yeah.
Aged.
That's aged vanilla. So
1930.
1930s. Yep. Now you said coffee. Well, now this is the coffee grinders over here, and you load up your beans in here. You have them out there already roasted. And you load the beans up here, and this normally has a little glass bowl. Well, it's kind of like this. I don't know if I'd cook and eat these peas or not. I bet they'd be all right because they just dried. Those suckers are Those are
Look like you're getting ready to go to
70,
sleep.
they're probably 70, 80 years old. But this, it had a little glass bowl that you did set up there under like that. Close that up. And then you grind your coffee here. Take that over and put it in your coffee pot over
Your
there.
percolator.
Yeah, your percolator. And then you got your old coffee cup out right there. That's the way you drink your coffee.
I got one of those at home.
Yeah, this one's had a lot of coffee served in it.
That's some cowboy coffee went through that one.
Yeah, you might do that good for dipping out your coffee beans with that now, but that's kind of funny.
Well, Freddie, I want
Yes,
to
sir.
say thank
Well,
you for
you're
the
quite
tour.
welcome.
This was
Now
really
you want to see
cool.
one more little spot?
Yes,
Oh, I
do.
got something else.
You do? You got more for me?
Yeah.
Well, let's check this out.
Yeah, I'll give you a little short run. This is a new display. We haven't.
So nobody's got to see this yet, then.
Well, watch your steps, because this is
Yes, sir.
this is kind of a dangerous area to go through.
It's work in progress.
Yeah, this is work in progress. This is our old roof that they insisted on taking off, so we got to haul this out of here.
Okay.
But this is the Stormy Blag Train House.
Oh, wow.
This came from.
Yeah, you used to have train service here.
Oh
too,
yeah,
right?
yeah. You used to have train
That was
service here.
for your big products, your lumber,
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
materials, and different things
And
for
you
building.
get a kick out of this.
This is
It's
cool.
not- Let me get the door open.
Oh, wow. So this is a hobby you obviously love to play.
Mr. Blag spent 20-something years building this, and this is Derek's. Now you're not from our county.
I was born in Wichita, Kansas, and
Yeah.
I moved down here, and I've been here about 10 years.
Okay, well this is Derek's over here.
Okay.
All right, and in the center is the Derek
Look.
sawmill, and he hand built a bunch of this stuff that's all the way around here, and you could tell when he was getting older. Let me see if I got any of those. Oh yeah, as he got older,
Started
he
making
quit.
clothes.
He quit. No, he just went to buying them, and he had these. And a
Those
bunch
are
of,
all handmade?
yeah, a bunch of this stuff was handmade and put together and by him. And so we took all the porcelain stuff out, and we wanted to look a little more antiquated and like that. But he collected all the trains, and it was all the way up in Derek's, 20 miles away. Collections of all kinds of stuff that
Yes,
comes
sir.
along here that people bring to us, and this used to be the old city hall, and the library was over here in this department, and then the mayor's office was in there, and then right here was the desk, and this was the water department. And look right here, this gal, from the time
Smoke
she
on the
walked
train,
in,
huh?
she smoked so much they had to put a vent in up there to suck the smoke out of here. She smoked all the time. So we have little guitar picking every once in a while. And some people bring me those old guitars, they ain't worth a dime. They won't say in time.
I seen on Facebook that you play a little music.
I play a little music.
You play the bass?
Bass.
Yes, sir.
I'm a guitar picker too.
I used to be in bands back in the back where Gabe's
Oh
around.
yeah. And
I play-
Wichita.
No, I lived
Where?
in Ark City, Kansas for a while too, and I played bands down there, and
Yeah.
I played drums for about 10 years.
So.
So if
This
you ever
is-
need anybody on a little
Okay.
flare or something, you let me know.
This is back here is a town artist from over at Garden. He's a
The guy with
train
the trains?
station. He's a train station. Worked for the. He was a brakeman for the Missouri Pacific Railroad, and if you've ever seen on the railroad, he's been retired for a pretty good while.
Mhm.
That's Buzz Blur, and you have to kind of look down in there. His logo or his moniker is on the left over here, and he draws that on box cars,
Oh, really?
and thousands of box cars.
Isn't that cool?
And when he gets out of the, look on the top shelf, way
Right
back
here?
in the corner. Yeah.
that's what he draws on the box
Yeah,
cars.
that's what he draws on the boxcar.
And that's something.
And that's him. That's called Colossus of Rhodes, Roades, Rhodes, and he drew them. And there you see him drawing it on the boxcar right there.
Yes, sir.
That's him. That's his name's Russell Butler, but he goes by Buzz Blur, and he's traveled all over the world. And
What is this right here?
that's track foreman's out here laying track outside of town.
Outside of Nashville?
Yeah.
So that was probably in the 30s too, wasn't it?
They were working on spurs. Well, now I don't know. I'd have to look and see. That I don't know. That was probably during the 50s, because that's pretty new ties, and
Yes, sir.
and it's according to the length of the rails.
Huh.
But now see, here's my favorite size. That's the best size train to run right
Yes,
there.
sir.
Those right there. It's a whole lot easier to do those. I have buddies that work for Union Pacific, so here's Union Pacific Railroad rules, and being from Garden, they found out that I had part of this was railroad and train museum and all that, so they started sending me stuff all the time.
That's
And
really
I
cool.
collect all this stuff and put in here. It's a pretty neat situation. You ever seen a real? Let me show you this. Here's a real
Alligator skin
That's
bag.
a real. That's a real thing right there, buddy.
Look at this.
I mean,
That's made from a real alligator, boy.
put your hands on it so you
Look at that. You see that? That's
That
cool.
is
How old is that? Because it's.
that's in the 20s right here.
Wow.
That's pretty old right
I
there.
don't know that
And
I would
think-
want to carry a bag like
Well,
that around.
Well, and look right here. Here's the matching suitcase that goes
Oh
with
wow!
it.
Probably from the same gator, right?
Mhm. Probably from the same gator.
That's awesome.
So that's a real stuff right there.
This has been amazing to have you show us
Well,
around.
good. Well, we're just happy to death that you're able to come by and that you caught me, because I know what my wife.
If you enjoyed this trip through our town's historical fire department, bus stop, and the old train station, Freddie was a very nice man.
All right, thank you.
And I was very glad to meet this young man. He showed us around and gave us a tour. And if you're ever in Nashville, Arkansas, and you want to check this out, go to downtown at the courthouse and tell them you'd like to go through the fire department museum, and they will set something up for you so you can take a tour for yourselves. So we love y'all. We'll see y'all later, and thanks for coming to Cabin on the Hill. Love you guys. Bye.